or Noah Clark, and you're watching Worldwide Sim Racing. And I'm just going to ask, turn down your mic.
Yep. Hello, my name is Alex Sullivan, and welcome back to Worldwide Sim Racing as well.
And we're back for the British Grand Prix, about to get started. 18 minutes of non-stop action in qualifying, and then the race in the British Grand Prix, getting ready for the start. I do apologize, there was a technical difficulty. We were about to start the race, and then it crashed. But hopefully we should be all good. Hopefully my internet does not die on me today, and we will have a very good race for you today. Again, we're just about 17 minutes and 30 seconds into qualifying.
Left of qualifying.
And we're getting ready for the first driver to pop out and get onto this famous British circuit, the Silverstone circuit, which has held the first Formula One championship race. And there's somebody is out on track, and I do believe it is the Deck 91. Nope, I thought it was a Force India.
It is the Toro Rosso Dempsey 62132.
Coming out on track, so we're going to ride on board of him as he comes out of the pit lane. And let's ride on board of him right now. Going around the Silverstone track, Official Soy, can you give me a little bit of information about the Silverstone Grand Prix and what is it going to have in store for us today?
Of course, welcome to probably one of the most iconic tracks on the calendar, home of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. There are 18 corners, and it was first held since it was redone up in 1987. In this race there will be 26 laps, and there is a DRS zone into turn 6 of Brooklands and down the Hangar Straight into turn 15 of Stowe.
Very, very, very exciting. Dempsey now coming up to Maggots and Beckett's, one of the most iconic chicanes in all of Formula One. So many amazing battles through here that we've seen before in the past, is coming onto the straight for the last DRS zone under the F1 2019 bridge, which probably says something in real life a lot better than the logo. As coming
Johnny
up,
Walker, I believe.
What is it?
Johnny Walker, I believe.
Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Not talking about their alcohol advertising, big quotes. As Dempsey comes around the final penultimate corner and then the final turn as he's about to start his first lap, and here we go, starting the first qualifying lap, barreling down into turn 1. You can take this flat if you get the turning correctly, and I think he did just that. Now coming up to the hard braking zone of turn 3 and locking up the brakes is Dempsey. Very hard on the brakes. We saw this a lot yesterday in the Tier 2 race. A lot of locking up of the brakes. A lot of drivers not used to having the anti-lock brakes off, and you're seeing a lot of lockups, which is really going to hurt some of the tire life of these drivers. Dempsey, though, is looking pretty okay so far. Despite that lockup, he is looking pretty fast right now.
It is very interesting, but it's interesting though that Gurman and Dempsey are also on the medium competitors, when UCB Flying, Element 10 and El Bico are on the hard competitors, and Dempsey's after spinning and hitting a wall.
And he is back on track. There's somebody behind him. I think that's Seafreeze on an outlap right now behind Dempsey. Green flags being waved. And it is Dempsey, who has obviously ruined his lap after spinning. It doesn't look like he has any damage, though, so he might have just saved it there in that case.
Luckily for him, I suppose. You could have easily lost a wheel right there.
And here's
Gurman's also on a lap.
Not necessarily keeping on the road very well, as he was sliding around a little bit in Maggots and Beckett's. But Dempsey's going to set the lap regardless, though it was invalidated. So I think he's going to try again. We'll see if he can do something well. Honos on pole at the moment.
With a 127.8.
And I'm going to ride on board of Gurman right now. He's about to finish his first lap of the qualifying session. But right now, it's not looking very good. He's going to be in the 1 minute 30s almost. Nope, just about 1 minute 29. So not a very good lap from him. Let's ride on board of Flip Flop Fish, who is given 2 penalties from the last race after a turnover of a previous penalty Flip-Flop Fish ultimately finishing second in the race after losing first position, which gave, I believe, Psycho Sane the win of the race, if I'm not mistaken, and put down Flip-Flop Fish into second position. He now still leads, though, the championship by a single point over Psycho Sane. Sweet Crown 19, who retired from the previous race, isn't in the top 2. It's in the top 3. And Flip-Flop Fish on pole position right now by about 0.8 of a second. And it looks to be Albiku, who's 4th fastest on the grid right now.
130.5 in... Okay, I just swore I saw Gurman hit a wall, but I was lying.
Sweet Crown 19 also is on track at the moment, coming up for an outlap
now.
Hard compound tires for Sweet Crown 19. DePaster is on a lap at the moment, but he's swerving around a lot, so he might be saving for another lap. A car coming behind him, I think that is Flip-Flop Fish, and yes, it is.
Yeah, DePaster's definitely warming up for another lap. He's swerving too much.
Here is Nathan DeVillers in the McLaren in his first race in WSR.
Since last season.
And starting off well, starting in the British Grand Prix, though he goes into the pit not happy. Maybe just a bit of an installation lap for him. As you see me flying, coming around towards Magnussen Beckett's, going through that turn almost flat, lifting off a little bit before going in, and he keeps it just off the curb. Now going into Magnussen Beckett's, it's very easy to run wide out of the flat turn before Magnussen Beckett's. And Chaos, currently on an outlap, I believe is about to start his flying lap. No, he's on the old start-finish straight, never mind. I always get confused with the old start-finish straight. Ben Swerven is on a lap right now.
Sweet Crown has just begun his lap.
And here comes Ben Swerven. Where will he end up on the grid? Currently 5th fastest with a 129.2. So Gurman dropped out, and Usami Flyin now 7th fastest on the grid. Sweet Crown 19, let's see what he can do. Maybe that was a bit of lag on my screen as he's coming now down the first DRS straight. Gonna brake hard at about the 50-meter board.
Keep it calm through here. Up towards the fast right-hander. Well,
onto the old start-finish straight.
Up towards the fast right-hander of Abbey. I think it's Abbey. And into the most trickiest part of this entire track, a lot of people will say, of Magnussen Beckett's. Let's see if he can keep it perfectly on track.
A little bit on the curb there, compensating a little bit, and though a very good exit out of there, though. Sweet Crown looking pretty dialed in right now. The Sector 2 time was a 1:03.
I'd like to apologize. The old Turn 1 is Cops, not Abbey. Abbey is the new Turn 1. I get those two mixed up the whole time.
Sweet Crown 19 coming into the slow chicane at the end of the lap, now coming around the penultimate turn, and then he'll come around the final turn. And let's see what the time is going to be. It's going to only be 4th fastest for Sweet Crown 19, a 128.0 flat. So not totally out of the realm of pole position, but he is on that hard compound tire, to be fair. But at the moment, 4th fastest on the grid.
We do believe most people to be qualifying on the softs at the end of their run due to it being a very low tire wear around here, especially considering I think he can do a soft to medium or a soft to hard quite easily.
I think a soft to medium would be a very good, viable strategy. So yeah, I think most drivers will go to the softs at the end. The Pastor's actually on that soft compound tire right now, but I don't believe he's setting a lap again. Staying out on track. Those softs have to be pretty used up now that he hasn't set a lap yet because he's not using any of his ERS. I want to ride on board with Nathan DeVillers right now as he is about to set another lap. Let's see what he can do. Coming around the start-finish line, coming around Abbey, completely flat. And braking hard. And a lockup from Nathan DeVillers. Again, locking up a lot into turn 3. But again, now getting onto that that huge DRS zone. Opening up the rear flap.
Huge oversteer.
There's a yellow flag in sectors 1, 2, and 3. I think somebody might be off track at the moment. I'm not too sure who it is.
Looking for it. I think it just says Chaos going slow.
Maybe Swervin. Swervin's all over the track right now.
Possibly.
Nathan DeVillers coming on that old DRS straight now, going through Cobbs completely flat, but running it a little wide. That might have invalidated his lap right there. He's just going to go into Maggotts and Beckett's. It's very strict around here. The other McLaren is ahead of him, and I believe that's the other McLaren ahead of him. No, it is the Ferrari. We don't have the other McLaren, which would have been Formula Johnny. He's not on track at the moment. It is the McLaren, I believe, of Gurman. As here comes Nathan DeVillers. Now, is this going to be a problem for Nathan DeVillers? He's going to have dirty air. And no, he goes into pits, not happy. And, oh, is he going to go into the back? Yes, he is going to go into the back of Gurman, who was slowing up. And now there's a five-place grid penalty for the collision with Gurman in the pit lane. And that's a massive mistake by the McLaren driver who didn't slow up quick enough. And he went right into the back of the Ferrari.
Swervin's out of fuel, by the way, and he's now cutting across the entirety of the grass. This is very strange. If you go to Swervin,
I think he's trying to get out of the way. Oh, because is it because he's on low fuel,
and he's also through Maggotts and Beckett's. That's probably a smart move on his part. He might have ruined his tires though. So now we know that De Villiers will now be moved back by 5 places after qualifying. So wherever he will begin 5 places back further. And it looks like Flip-Flop Fish just went even quicker with a 126.919. Seafreeze is currently in second, only 2/10 behind him, and then It's Always Chaos a further 4/10 behind Seafreeze.
We would like to apologize from the last race with the incident with Speed Kills 3 taking out Seafreeze. Glad to see Seafreeze back on track. If you haven't heard, Speed Kills 3 has been banned from the 2020 WSR Formula World Championship and is on a review basis for any other WSR events. Again, we apologize for the events. We don't condone any type of action like that whatsoever. It's not good racing. It's not good on-track behavior. And we take any of those incidents extremely seriously. And as so, Speed Kills 3 has been banned from the remainder of the 2020 WSR Formula World Championship and will be on review for future WSR events.
Seafreeze is currently on a quick lap, and he's currently up by 5/10 on his quickest lap overall, which will see him take pole. Well, provisional pole, I should say.
Let's see. Seafreeze coming now to the slow chicane at the end of the lap. And taking a shot of the front wing of Seafreeze 22. Will he put it on pole position at the moment? Coming around the final turn. And it is pole position. Yes. It's a 126.5. And it's a little bit faster than Flip Flop Fish, who is into the 126 as well. And Chaos,
only 4/10.
And Flip Flop Fish is actually going into the pits on those soft compound tires at the moment. He was on low fuel as well, I believe.
Sweet Crown's in the pits still.
Honos is also on no fuel. He doesn't have any fuel either. All these drivers are not filling up their cars a lot, and they're getting left stranded on track. And I hope this doesn't mess up any laps for anybody.
Albiku's into the pits as well now. Seafreeze is coming around the track trying to get back into the pits. I believe Dempsey's on a lap. Yes, he is.
And
Germany coming through. Oh, that's a big lock up.
That is in the turn 3, and it's the same turn. He's locked up again in the same turn 3. I've seen a lot of drivers locking up into that turn, coming onto the DRS straight, and he's got DRS activated. It's in overtake at the moment. Going to reach well over 200 miles per hour just about, and nope, just hitting 200 miles per hour actually, so maybe running a high downforce setup on the Toro Rosso at the moment. Is that wise? I'm not particularly sure, as he's going up to the old start-finish straight towards Cobbs now, and let's see what he can do in Sector 2. Going around Cobbs, should take it flat if he gets the entry right, and he runs up on the grass a little bit, goes far too wide, and he's into the wall almost, and just saves it before going into the wall. Dempsey, which had a spin earlier in the same exact area, saves the car. And that was similar to what I believe Botas may have done in Silverstone, almost putting into the wall, but he kept it together, and the car is all good to go.
is on a quick lap. De Villiers is on a quick lap again.
He hasn't set a lap since in this Grand Prix, but going down that start-finish straight, I believe, is that Toro Rosso driver now. Is he going to get a little bit of slipstream down the straight? No, he finally goes into the pits. Let's see what he can do. Nathan De Villers coming around the final few turns in this McLaren. Where is he going to end up on the grid at the moment? Coming around that final turn, and it's going to be second fastest on the grid. And Nathan De Villers, welcome to WSR Season 2.
1900ths ahead of Flip Flop Push.
Who is coming out of the pits with the soft compound tire. I'm assuming with minimal fuel. 2 minutes and 46 seconds to go as he comes out of the pit lane. And what will the man and the lead of the championship do now? 10 penalty points on him. A quick lap.
True Maggots and Beckett's coming up towards the
2/10 down in sector 2.
Oh, was it?
Yep. Now 7/10 down. No, it's 7/10 down in sector 2 now.
No, when I mean up, I mean that's a minus because you're going better.
Yeah, I'm going down. Well, I just meant down minus, yeah. Anyway, Element 10 is coming through the final few turns. Let's see what he can do. He's going to come around this final turn on the start-finish straight. What's it going to be? It's going to be second fastest on the grid. Element 10. Wow. Putting in a monster lap near the end of qualifying, taking Nathan De Villers down to third position on the grid, and you have to think Flip Flop Fish is going to be on a monstrous lap coming into his final lap.
Sweet Crown 19 is on an outlap for his final lap of the race on the medium compound of tires, changing his strategy for the rest. From the rest, looking to go medium to soft in the race. I'd hazard to guess.
The Ferraris are 7th and 8th at the moment, so not a very good position for them. Let's see what Flip Flop Fish can do. Coming around the final turn, now he's on his lap. We're going to ride on board with the Mercedes driver right now as he barrels down through Abbey into turn 1, absolutely flat, keeping it off the curb, braking just at before the 50-meter board. No lockup from him as coming around into now the DRS straight, getting on the power early. DRS activated just there. Now, what kind of setup are we running on the car right now? And he's going to get to just about 201 miles per hour for braking hard. And now coming near, a little bit of a slide out of the turn, a little too early on the power. But Flip Flop Fish is looking planted.
Up by less than a tenth, which is quite interesting.
And here comes Flip Flop Fish, flat through Cobbs, just on the curb a little bit, but that's going to be absolutely fine. Now going through Magnus and Beckett's. Can he keep the car flat onto the curbs? And yes, he will. He is looking absolutely determined right now. Now, a good exit out of here will be crucial. Runs up on the curb a little bit, not too bad though. And he's got that fuel.
Up by less than 100.
He's got that fuel flashing a little bit, though of course he was going to run it low, and he's going to add 203 miles per hour coming down there. Now planted a little bit on the curb there. Doesn't want to extend track limits too much. Braking hard. Qualifying will end now, and it is going to be Element 10 in second, Nathan De Villers in third. Seafreeze is still on track at the moment. Here comes Flip Flop Fish, and he's going to be in second position. He will not reach pole position in this race. We're going to ride on board of Sweet Crown 19. He's coming down the other DRS straight. Let's see what he can do. Sector 3 now. Will Sweet Crown 19 dethrone Seafreeze 22 at the moment? Is on pole position in this race in the Alfa Romeo. The first time we've seen that. And he boxes, and he's into the pits. Sweet Crown 19 is only 8th in position ahead of his teammate Gurman, and it's an absolute disaster for the Scuderia.
Seafreeze is on pole unless It's Always Chaos can do something absolutely incredible. Hanos is who just improved. Yeah, it was actually Hanos who's after going up to P5 now. It's Always Chaos is going down the back straight at the moment into Stowe and into Vale, then into turn 17. Vale,
let's see what he can do. Dempsey 17. Is ahead of him, and he might have gained a little bit of slipstream coming down.
Into Club.
What's the time going to be? And no, he will stay fifth fastest. And it is Seafreeze 22 on pole position. The first time we've seen an Alfa Romeo on pole position since last season. It's not Sweet Crown 19, it's Seafreeze 22.
And Flip Flop and Element 10 complete the top three with De Villiers in fourth. It's Always Chaos in fifth. Honos in sixth. El Biku in seventh. Dempsey
I'd like
in
to
eighth.
add
Sweet Crown in
something.
ninth.
I'd like to add
and
something.
DePastor in 10th.
Sweet Crown 19, his only lap he set was on the hard compound tire, so he's going to start the race on the hards.
I don't think that's actually a good thing.
No,
Like,
it's not a good
people-
thing. I'm not saying
No,
that to be a good
they're-
thing.
Yeah, they're very, very slow tires and very, very difficult to heat up. So we could expect him to be quite slow at the very beginning. But De Villiers will have a 5-place grid drop, which will put him down to 9th or 10th. I believe he'll be 9th. So Sweet Crown will gain a position.
And Chaos will go into the top 4. It's an all-American top 4, though, in terms of times, though, of course, Nathan DeVillers will drop out. But then again, Chaos will go into...
A very impressive time from Seafreeze, though. 3.5 tenths.
Honos will go into the top 5, though. So there will still be a lot of Americans at the top, which we didn't see last season for sure. And very interesting to see it now.
3.5 tenths, though, between first and second. That's a sizable gap. Will Seafreeze be the first Alfa Romeo winner to win this season?
Since Sweet Crown 19, he's the only Alfa Romeo driver that could possibly win a race besides Sweet Crown 19. As we get ready for the start of this race, it's the British Grand Prix. It's around Silverstone, one of the greatest tracks in the history of Formula One, and it holds round 3 of the championship. Will magic happen around here? Let's see.
You do have to be careful, though, going into turn 1. It is very, very quick.
We have seen many and many accidents, and also turn 3 as well. After the initial first turn can also be very tricky. That's where Lewis Hamilton was spun around by Kimi Räikkönen in 2018, which did not give him the possibility to win the race. Nope, it's the 5 red lights. There's no formation lap in this race as we get ready to bring the action. And it's Seafreeze who gets a good jump on Flip Flop Fish, who I don't think might have been expecting as we go into turn 1, and all drivers so far all good on, but I think somebody went wide. It looked like it might have been a McLaren who went wide.
Element 10 is into second.
Element 10 in the second position. Flip Flop Fish has been jumped by him. Now in the turn 3, everybody's pretty much okay. Gurman drops a few positions. Sweet Crown 19 is in 9th position, and Nathan DeVillers in 10th.
Chaos and Flip Flop are going side by side down the back straight to try and get onto the podium.
Side by side, but it's going to be Chaos who gets past Flip Flop Fish, but Flip Flop Fish will now switch around the outside, and he'll get ahead of Chaos, but no, Chaos on the inside keeps the position, and he gets himself in the 3rd position, but now going on the Old Star finish straight, and they're banging wheels as he goes onto the grass, and here comes Flip Flop Fish in the Cobbs. They're going to go flat through Cobbs side by side, and it's going to be Flip Flop Fish who takes 3rd position ahead of Chaos, and this is absolutely amazing battling right away from the very start of this race, and banging wheels right away. Flip Flop Fish still with the same personal driving he had earlier.
Seafreeze is after increasing a gap of 7/10 of a second, 7.5 tenths of a second already to Element 10.
And let's ride on board of Sweet Crown 19. He's trying to go side by side with Elbiku, and going into the turn, still side by side of Elbiku. Elbiku's actually off track, now coming into the braking zone. I think Sweet Crown will get ahead of him. Yes, he will, but with a lockup, that's going to bring to Pastor now, also coming up to him, and no, not able to get past, but it is Nathan DeVillers who's making a challenge on Gurman all the way at the bottom of the racetrack, and look at this, through Abbey, they're still side by side and very, very close to Gurman, and getting very, very close, braking hard, locking up actually, but still behind Gurman at the moment. But on this DRS straight, should we expect a few overtakes? I presume we would, but no DRS no DRS at the moment, so just total slipstream to try to catch up the drivers.
Chaos is after backing up a bit from It's Always Chaos by about 7/10 of a second now. The top 4 are kind of just after settling into a groove.
I'm going to ride on board of Sweet Crown 19. He's currently chasing down the Toro Rosso of Dempsey, who's in 6th position at the moment, and a little bit of dust picked up from Dempsey after going a little bit off, and now going a little wide into the turn. Now coming up towards Maggots and Beckett. Sweet Crown 19 should have a good run on him if he can get a better run in Maggots and Beckett. On the grass a little bit is Dempsey. and a little bit more controlled, running up on the curb quite a lot. Who gets the better exit? I think Dempsey might have actually had a better exit, but then Will Sweet Crown 19 with Slipstream. I think it's going to get very close to Dempsey. He's going to have overtake available to him, and let's see what he's going to do. On the inside, side by side through that turn, Dempsey still holding it around, and now Sweet Crown 19 has a slot behind him, and I don't think Sweet Crown 19 was really expecting Dempsey to battle all that well. El Biku does go very wide, and he's crashed actually. El Biku into a wall. The front wing is gone, just a sliver of it left.
Yeah, very little of his front wing left, and he probably will pit now.
And who's that? Dempsey spins! And he keeps it alive!
He's after... Albiku's out. He's after crashing into the wall of the pit lane.
He crashed into the pit lane wall?
He was cutting across the grass to go into the pits, which you're not meant to do, ironically, probably for that exact reason, but he's after crashing into the pit lane wall and after taking himself out. No fault to anybody else. He just after crashing on his own two legs. Just after throwing it into a wall by the looks of things.
Let's ride on board a flip-flop fish right now. He's 7/10 behind Element 10, who's in second position. Albiku leaves the session, obviously not very happy with the result in the Red Bull car, and the Red Bulls definitely won't be scoring any points today, as here comes flip-flop fish through Magnus and Begets. Can he get a better run, as it is lap 3 of this race, so DRS will be activated down the straight, but flip-flop fish actually runs on the grass a little bit before getting onto that DRS straight, and that's going to compromise him a little bit as he catches up to him just a tad, but not enough to be considering an overtake.
To be fair now, Element 10 did also hit the grass as well. Sweet Crown 19's after getting up to 6th position. Him and Tapastor are the only two drivers in the top 10 that are not on the softs. They're on the hards and the mediums.
And look at this, Yusumi flying, dives on the inside of deck 91, but he keeps the position, and that was a very, very late break by the Mercedes driver, trying to promote himself in the 9th position as he's on that start-finish straight, lap number 4 right now through Abbey, and they're going to be front wing to the rear diffuser. Yusumi flying in deck 91. Let's see, will he look on it? He's gonna dive big time on the inside. A huge dive bomb by Yusumi flying, and now he backs up a little bit, and there is damage. Maybe no, I don't think there is. I think his front wing's still okay.
No, I saw a front wing on the floor at the back.
Maybe a tiny bit, maybe. I don't see any end plate gone.
Which will still lose you at least a tenth. De Villiers and Swerven are both in the pit lane.
And what tire is he going to put on? I believe he would put on he's going to put on mediums.
Medium and hard. Medium for De Villiers and hard for Swerven.
And here comes flip-flop fish on Element 10, much closer to the Toro Rosso driver. DRS will be activated. Let's see if he can make an overtake on Element 10. He's going to go around on the outside. Can he make the overtake before the turn? And he's going to go around the outside, and a beautiful overtake on Element 10. Puts himself in the 2nd position. Now going to try to chase down C-Freeze 22. And Element 10 will look on the inside, but ultimately slot behind him.
Hanos is after picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
And Yusumi flying
is past the deck.
Past the deck, will the deck look? And he's going to look a little bit around the outside, but no. Yusumi flying closes the door, and Yusumi flying promotes himself in the 9th position.
Into the points.
Into the point.
Definitely helps his teammates.
Sweet Crown 19 is struggling a little bit, as you would expect him to. He's not able to really make up any pace, as all the drivers around him on much faster tires, which are not going to run out as quickly as you'd expect them to around most tracks. I would like to note that Gurman actually has front wing damage. One of his end plates is gone. So he might have a little bit of downforce issues right now.
He's currently in a fight with the Pastor now, but the Pastor seems to be should gain away with the lack of downforce from Gurnman, you would assume. There's also a big battle going on about between Flip-Flop Fish and Element 10 still as they go through Maggots and Beckett's, and Element 10 is going to be behind Flip-Flop Fish with DRS.
I would like to note that Tapastor is on the mediums versus Gurman on the soft, so that might be helping Gurman a little bit. Here comes Element 10. Yeah. Will he look around the same spot? I think he's going to look on the inside, but no, a little bit too far back. Doesn't want to be getting too risky with his overtakes. now barreling down into the slow chicane. Lap number 5 of 26 of this race, and it's Seafreeze 22 who leads the Grand Prix at the moment by about 2.6 seconds over Flip Flop Fish. Here comes Element 10 on the start-finish straight. Going to go through flat through Abby's. Let's see who can get a better run. Now it's going to come up to that DRS straight, and we might be able to see an overtake from Element 10 onto Flip Flop Fish. And coming around slow.
Into Arena. Now
and a better exit for Flip Flop. Element didn't really hit the apex very well. Now DRS activated, and he's lost a little bit of time to him onto that straight, and now he is going to lose time to him actually just about, and not really gain anything on him.
No, he's after losing time if anything on that back straight.
He did, because he didn't have a very good exit. He didn't really hit the apex, wasn't able to get the optimum speed out of the corner.
Surely he won't try and make an overtaking to Cops. Surely.
Now, what about Chaos, though? He's getting closer to Element 10, as Element 10 seems to be struggling quite a little bit. And Chaos now behind Element 10 by a he's getting very close, about 3/10 behind, going into Maggins and Beckett's. How close will he get now? The Williams versus Taurus on Element 10 gets a pretty big bag of oversteer, and now he's going to be very, very close to him, coming up onto this DRS straight.
Chaos, though.
And Chaos might have just been getting bad air. Let's see if he's going to look on the inside. Yellow flag sector 2, and it might be, who is it? It's the deck who spun.
It is the deck. Yeah, the deck who spun at Cops.
And I believe he might have damage. Nope, actually the car is okay. It looks like it from a visual perspective. And Element 10 does keep ahead of Chaos at the moment, but Chaos will and should be able to overtake him onto the DRS straight, but can't even make it before getting onto that DRS straight. He's still very close to him. Will he look anywhere on a dive bomb? No, a little bit too far back, but not too far back. About 0.2 of a second as they're coming through Arena and to pass her. 3-second time penalty. That's going to promote Gurman at the moment.
All the way
and
down
let's see, Element 10 has DRS, and so does Chaos. Who doesn't have DRS? Well, what do you know with Flip Flop Fish? So he might be a little bit of a sitting duck right now with the two raging drivers in Element 10 and Chaos.
And Luffield. Brooklands, Luffield, and then down the old back straight into Cops.
Now, if you're Flip Flop Fish, I think you're going to be a little bit scared right now seeing Chaos and Element 10, but at the same time, you do want them to battle a little bit, and I think that's what he's hoping for, and it's Chaos who's the closer driver at the moment to Element 10. But the problem is...
Considering Chaos and Element 10 are actually quite close together, I think this is actually helping Flip Flop gain a bit more of an advantage, because I think Element 10 is more focused on defending from Chaos and actually overtaking Flip Flop. I say that, and he actually went for a lunge.
He did go a little bit for a lunge. Flip Flop Fish must not have had a very good run out of the turn, and now they're all extremely close to one another. But it's Flip Flop Fish who's in the problem right now, because he's the one without DRS and coming up towards the DRS straight. But then again, not a very good exit for Element 10 out of that turn. And again, the gap widens a little bit to about 0.6 of a second. And it's Chaos who at the moment is gaining the time. He's faster in a straight line without DRS, it looks like, by Element 10.
The giant thing it is, though, is that it's very hard to actually keep with the car in front of you due to the air. Which is going to be affecting a 3-second time penalty for Gurnman.
And here we go. He's gaining a big time. Chaos now going to look around the outside into Brooklands, and no, not being able to do it. Going to switch around into the outside. And look at this. This might be really good. Is he going to make it? No.
And down the back, maybe into Cops if he's brave.
But Element 10 will take a defensive inside line, but no. I believe he thinks Chaos is not, but look at that. Chaos actually went really deep into that corner, as he might have been looking somewhere, but Element 10 kept it around the outside.
De Villiers is after setting the quickest lap of the race on the medium compounded tires.
Lap 8 of 26. DRS activated. Will Chaos get close enough? No.
I think Element 10 just got a bit closer to Flip Flop, if anything, there, but a bit further away from Chaos. I think Chaos is beginning to overheat his tires a bit too much with the amount he's pushing, which definitely is an issue around here. But wear isn't really an issue, but temperatures can be. Yellow flag in Sector 2. We're going to quickly see if that was.
The yellow flag is gone. Maybe it was a little off excursion. What's interesting to say the least, though, is Element 10 is not able to catch up to Flip Flop Fish. despite having
Yeah.
DRS and I would presume better
Swerve is
ERS
after getting a 3-second
management.
time penalty. Yeah, Swerve
Well,
was
no,
after getting a
actually,
3-second time penalty.
Flip-Flop actually has pretty good ERS, so that is helping him, and he's swerving around on track quite a lot.
The thing that's surprising me actually quite a lot is that Seafreeze has, after extending a 4-second gap to the car behind, and is dominating at the moment in this race. And I don't necessarily use that term lightly, because the gap between first and second is now 4.0 seconds as he goes into Cops and towards Maggots and Beckett's.
And now it's Chaos again, closer to Element 10.
I want to see somebody go for a lunge into into one of these corners. It'd be absolutely chaos, but it might be interesting to see if they're able to do it without making contact.
See if you
Might
can
be
do
a bit
it without
suicidal.
making contact later. Like, test it out, boys. Test it out. Is it good or is it not?
Most likely not. To Pastors after picking up his second 3-second time penalty at the race. Oh, Chaos is pit.
Chaos goes into the pits. Now, what's he going to put on? I'm presuming the medium tires.
I'll keep an eye on it. Honos after going past him as... Oh, well, yeah, Honos will go past him, as will Sweet Brown. Let's see what tires the Williams garages has out for him. I'm assuming it's the mediums.
Now, is Sweet Crown on the
It is the mediums. It is... Sweet Crown's on the hards.
He is on the hards. Right, no, he's still on that hard tire, so he's going to go quite late into this race, but we'll see how late he wants to go.
Chaos is after coming out in 9th and after putting on the medium compound. Dempsey is also into the pit. And Element 10... No, it's going to be interesting to see if Element 10 or Flip Flop actually respond to Chaos.
I want to know...
That is the key here.
I mean, realistically speaking, if there were no such thing as the tire rule, where you have to switch to another compounded tire, Sweet Crown could probably go to the end of the race on that hards, because they're just so durable.
Yes, but they're very, very difficult to heat up. Like, that's why I believe he was so slow at the beginning of the race, but now they're beginning to get into a sweet spot. But the tire rule, of course, kind of neglects that. So he'll have to go on to the softs at the end of the race, and I'm expecting him to pit at around lap 18. Maybe lap 20.
We've seen crazier races somehow go in Sweet Crown's favor, so let's not knock him out just yet. He is 5th at the moment. It is Seafreeze in the lead, and Seafreeze into the pits, and so is Flip Flop, and so is Element 10, and the top 3 into the pits.
Watching
and so is
Chaos now
Honos
to see if he can jump. Now let's see if Chaos can jump any of them. We're expecting Chaos to be able to jump Honos, but can Chaos jump anybody else?
And at the moment, Sweet Crown will take the lead of the race.
Not the first time we've ever said that, I'd say.
And to Pastor will get past all of them. What will Gurman do?
No, Chaos is currently... Chaos will definitely get past to Pastor anyway. No, Hono, sorry. As far as I'm aware. Yes, he will. He might be able to gain past Element 10 and Flip Flop. This might be brilliant. He did! Well, he's after getting past Element 10, so that's definitely after helping him.
Flip Flop Fish.
That was definitely a good move, and it's definitely a good thing that Flip Flop.
But now, even though they are newer tires, Flip Flop Fish will have them pretty cold, so maybe Flip Flop might get overtaken here if Chaos can get a good run on the first lap with the more warm tires.
I'd like to point out, I think the more interesting thing is that Element 10 is 2 seconds behind.
So a real big gaff by him. Something must have happened in the pit lane, because he's far back than I think he would have liked to have been.
I think he was held up. He had to have been. Or it was a very slow stop.
And yep, Flip Flop Fish is not doing very well. He's struggling a little bit with those new tires on, and Chaos with the tires much more heated up, maybe even with the loss of grip. Now going through Mads and Beckett's, that's really where it's going to show. And yep, Flip Flop Fish gets a bad exit, and he ran up on the grass a little bit. Flip Flop is going to swerve a little bit. Here he comes around the outside. Will he make the overtake before the turn? And yes, he will. And Chaos has gone past Flip Flop, but again, how much longer will that be?
A strategy masterpiece, I have to admit. You see me flying and Gurman are into the pits. So they will go up to 3rd and 4th, respectively. The Pastor and Sweet Crown are still out. It's Always Chaos has just had the quickest lap of the race with a 129.917. Now, can Flip-Flop be able to make the overtake again down the first DRS straight into Brooklands? Around Arena.
And a bad run by
Oh.
Chaos, and going on the inside, and Flip-Flop's going to take the position
Will have
with
DRS
DRS.
as well. Oh, that's worst case there for Chaos. And into Brooklands, down into Luffield, down the... Oh,
And
maybe?
Flip-Flop
No.
is not having a good time right now on these mediums. He's all over the place. Chaos, though, gets a little bit of wheel spin out of the exit on that old start finish straight. Now coming up to Cobbs. Let's see what will happen in the Magnets and Beckett's. Can he get closer to him? And Flip-Flop looking a little squirmy so far on this first, on these new tires.
I think what's interesting to point out is that Element 10 is dropping further and further back, it seems. So if
Maybe
anybody
he's
is
having the
enjoying
same
these tires,
issues.
it's him.
As here's
Yeah.
Flip-Flop Fish gets a bad exit out of the turn. Will Chaos be able to make a move again? He's gaining on him, gaining on him,
Think he's too
gaining
far
on him.
back.
And but he runs up on the grass a little bit, and now Flip-Flop, and I believe Chaos might have gone a little bit of dirty air as he went a little wide. And now coming into the slow chicane, Flip-Flop Fish will keep that position at the moment, fourth position for
Into
the
club.
moment for him.
And now into Abbey. This corner is normally flat out, especially in qualifying, but you have to lift sometimes in a race depending on tire wear and also the amount
Chaos
of fuel on
definitely
board.
did not let off. Let's see.
Okay, into Arena, then down the straight towards Brooklands. Oh, a lot of oversteer for Chaos, and he's after dropping back. I think he's too far back again. Yes, he is. Into Brooklands and then into Luffield. Then about to go down the old back straight into Abbey. It looks like Chaos is now beginning to drop back again. I think the air in front of him is having quite an effect. As Element 10 is dropping further and further back again.
Now 3 seconds behind.
Oh,
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Puncture maybe, please. Make it interesting.
Oh, when
It's gone
when
now.
do we ever get punctures? Never.
I'd like to see one. Who knows? Maybe Sweet Crown's been out a bit too long on those hards, or is after banging in a wall. One can pray for a puncture because that normally causes a safety car.
I would like to
And that
note
would
that the
make this lap
pastor has not
very
been gaining
interesting.
a lot of time on Sweet Crown 19 with those new, those are old mediums actually, I believe, for
Yeah,
pasture.
they're old mediums.
They're very old mediums. You can see the wear on them. It's not looking too good right now. Not pretty medium tires.
No, the thing that's holding back Sweet Crown at the passer at the moment is that this is also the longest pit lane, one of the longest pit lanes on the calendar, about 21 seconds, I believe. It's either the longest or second longest, also up there with Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi always feels like it's like a mile long, like the Boston Marathon going through in that pit lane.
Especially once you realize that your race is over after you bin it in the tunnel.
Exactly.
The deck and Dempsey are in a bit of a scrap at the back. Outside the points, but it's still a fight nonetheless.
Let's see what the deck can do. Gonna come into Cobbs. Or is that the first turn of Abby? No, it is Abby. What can Deck do? Is he going to make a big dive on not Ben Swervin, sorry, Dempsey? No.
Chaos is going again on Flip-Flop, and he's after getting a good exit down here now into the hangar straight, and it looks like he will be able to make the overtake if he's able to stick close enough. It's going to be close. No, not again. Again. That's very interesting. Goes a bit wide again, but you actually gain time from going wide there. I know it seems weird, but you do, because we have to keep more speed up. And the deck has after been overtaken by Dempsey, but they're still going more or less side by side. As it'll be interesting to see when Tapastor and Sweet Crown 19 pit. The gap between Sweet Crown 19 and Tapastor is now at 10.4 seconds.
Coming on, Chaos onto the DRS straight. 5/10 of a second.
Rate, yeah, at this rate, if my maths are correct, there's a slight chance that Sweet Crown might be able to get out ahead of Element 10 if Element 10 continues to struggle.
And Chaos gets closer in the later part of the lap and then drops back again in the early parts of the lap. He doesn't have very good runs through turns 2 and 3 and 4.
It's just very, very hard to actually be able to follow a car through that entire section. Like, towards any DRS straight on this track, being the one into Brooklands and also the one down the Hangar Straight into Stowe, it's just like there's very, very slow corners before it, or very hard corners to follow, so you end up losing time there and just gaining it back ever so slightly on the straight itself.
And again, he gained it up so much onto the DRS zone, but not able to make an overtake.
Seafreeze has after been overtaken by Tapastor, who's after pitting. What tyre will Tapastor put on? Sweet Crown's into the pits, and he's after putting on the soft compound, as expected. Tapastor is after putting on the softs. No, they should be able to go 10 laps.
And also the softs for Tapastor.
Okay, Sweet Crown's after been overtaken by Element 10 and Honos. De Villiers is a bit too far back, so Sweet Crown will re-emerge in 6th position.
Now, what about Tapastor? He might... Yeah, Tapastor might get overtaken by De Villiers.
I don't think so. No, he's too far back. De Villiers only come through turn 1 now, and Tapastor's out of the pits now. It's Always Chaos is still very, very, very close. That's to be noted. But the deck is also in a bit of a scrap between with
Dempsey.
With Dempsey again as well. What is interesting to note though is that Sweet Crown 19's hard compounded tires was not able to go further than Tapastor's mediums.
Now, is that maybe? Does that mean that they weren't going to, or maybe Sweet Crown all along wanted to do that anyway? Maybe he thought that lap 16 was a good lap to go on. Here comes Chaos. He might be making an overtake now on Flip Flop Fish. Go around the outside, and yes, he will make that overtake. And Chaos, finally, we've been saying for a while that he would get ahead of Flip Flop Fish. Will Flip Flop make a challenge on the chicane? No, he won't. Now, Chaos made a mistake previously through the turns 3 and 4. Will he make that same mistake again? Going through Abbey completely flat. Flip-flop, gaining a little bit of time. Let's see what he can do. Braking hard and... Ooh. No, maybe keeping it all right. And flop. Maybe braking a little later than he normally would. But again, Chaos got wheel spin out of the turn. And it's similar, but not completely. And look at this! Flip-flop gets ahead of him again. Chaos, again, messes up the position. He again had wheel spin coming out of the turn, and Flip-flop Fish takes advantage, and again, he's ahead of him, and it's back to square one, it feels like, as Chaos is in the exact same position he was again. Just not able to keep the position, not able to have the same consistency as he had the same mistake through there for the original arena section. Coming on to Magnets and Beckets again, can Chaos have the same luck he had before, or will be looking at Flip-flop remaining in second position?
At the moment, I think the interesting thing to note is that Seafreeze is still 5 seconds ahead, and Ben Swerven's after getting a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Looks like he's about to go onto a soft as well because he's getting bored. But It's Always Chaos is now behind between Flip-flop Fish again, and looks like he's may go for a move again on the straight as Flip-flop hits the grass, but I don't think he'll be able to, especially not going into a flat corner.
But he's getting pretty close to him on Abbey. Let's see.
But he tends to lose times through 3 and 4, like this entire part where we're in now. He just seems to lose time. Oh, maybe not this time. It just seems like Flip-flop gets a better exit every single time.
Oh, but not this time. He got a much better exit than Flip-flop Fish this time, and he should look, and he's gonna get, and Flip-flop's gonna give him the outside line, the better line, which is the inside for Flip-flop, and then Flip-flop, very good defending, only gave Chaos the outside line, and Chaos took the worst line through Brooklands and wasn't able to get it done. Now onto the old start-finish straight. Chaos 3/10 behind Flip-flop Fish. And this has been a pretty good battle from Chaos is the one who goes on the grass this time before going through Cobbs. Completely flat now, coming up to Magnets and Beckets.
It's Always Chaos, by the way, has 2 warnings. And I don't think, once again, I don't think Flip-Flop Fish actually has any. No, he doesn't.
Let's see. Ooh, Chaos going on the inside of Flip-Flop Fish, and he makes the overtake again, but now it's going to be Flip-Flop Fish who gets a good run, and now will he go around the outside? And no, he's going to make a switch back around the outside, now coming on the inside, no. Chaos again gets into the lead. Now, can Chaos, third time around, keep this position before that DRS straight? I think Chaos got a pretty good, I believe Flip-Flop Fish got a pretty good run out of there. Now will he look? He's going to look around the outside line, and he's going to hit the back of Chaos, and Chaos is going to go pretty deep into the corner due to contact. Flip-Flop Fish, what does he have? Front wing damage? I think he has he does. He has a tiny bit of front wing damage near the top of the front wing. But now Chaos, will he close the door on Flip-Flop Fish? Yes, he will. Flip-Flop, is he going to look on the inside? No, he's not, and this is getting a little personal with Flip-Flop Fish. I think he was looking around the outside, and Chaos moved a little bit in the braking zone, just a tad, and Flip-Flop, braking late, didn't realize it, went into the back of Chaos.
I would say Flip-Flop would make a pit stop normally for front wing damage, but at this point there's no point, considering if he pits, he will come out ahead of the pastor, but behind Sweet Crown. Sweet Crown, by the way, also is now about to have a fight with Hanos down in 6th position. Less than a second separates them.
But let's right aboard a Flip-Flop Fish, still very close, about 0.2 of a second, down this DRS straight. Here comes Flip-Flop Fish, he's going to go around the outside, he should make the overtake. It's going to be on the inside, and yes, he will get on the inside, and he makes the overtake again. And Chaos not able to challenge him around the outside into this turn. Here comes Sweet Crown 19 and Honos, and Sweet Crown 19 on the inside, a beautiful overtake on the Haas driver.
Did he leave enough room?
I think he did. So. I think it was close, but it was still a very good, beautiful overtake.
The gap is down to less than half a second. Sweet Crown set to another fastest lap. Element 10's race is after going to shambles, in my opinion. He isn't liking these mediums, considering he was in the fight with Flip-Flop and Chaos, and now he's after coming up behind both of them, and now a gap of 5.9. He's actually further away from Chaos than he is Sweet Crown, so Sweet Crown could get past Element 10 as well.
And
this race definitely isn't over, especially for the last 2 podium positions. I think Sweet Crown might have it in him if he's able to continue setting quick laps.
I think, who was that on the grass? Was it Chaos? It might have been Chaos, or might have been Flip-Flop. Who knows? They've been on the grass all race long since getting onto those new tires, and it's Chaos and Flip-Flop who have been having a huge battle for second position since the round of pit stops, and now back onto that DRS straight. He's going to be very close to Flip-Flop Fish. He's going to look on the outside. Flip is going to move, and then around, and look at that, a fantastic switchback, and look at that, he gets on him, but then Flip-Flop again, side by side of him, and he's going to look on the outside. Now, will there be a switch on to the inside? No. Chaos gets ahead of him. Now, was that a little bit dicey from Chaos, or do you think that was good, hard racing?
I think that was a good hard racing. Like, you can't be looking at everything. The Dex after having a bit of an issue. He was about half a second behind Dempsey, and now he's an entire 20 seconds behind, so I don't know what's happening there.
And again, Flip-Flop breaks really late into these turns and almost hits the back of Chaos again.
But the key thing is almost, so he hasn't hit him per se yet.
Now so Chaos is giving him a pretty wide berth. Is he going to move around? And yes, he is going to move, and he closes the door on Flip-Flop Fish, who might have been looking around the outside, and he slams the door on him, and that is a big slap in the face of the Mercedes driver. And here comes Sweet Crown 19. He makes an overtake on Element 10. And now past the Toro Rosso driver, that was a pretty personal move from Chaos as he just slammed the door on Flip-Flop Fish. This is getting really serious as we're on lap 21 of 26 in this race.
The question is, though, can Sweet Crown gain 6.8
And it's Chaos of a 3-second penalty, and he cut the corner on Maggots and Beckett's, and that is it for him, unless Flip-Flop has a really bad run of corners. Here comes Flip-Flop Fish on the inside, and will he just give him the position? I think he might just back out and keep it clean. Chaos just ruined his race with that penalty, and I think he was trying to defend against Flip-Flop a little bit too much, and it has now cost him as he buried it into Maggots and Beckett's and got a 3-second time penalty.
I think he should realize that this isn't his fight anymore and just move on. Because at the rate that Sweet Crown is gaining, there is a chance that he can get within the 3-second range before the end of this race and promote Sweet Crown to the podium. So it's going to be a bit dicey between here and the end of the race, especially for Chaos.
Oh, but Chaos dropped back a considerable amount. He had a really bad run out of arena.
Element 10 and Sweet Crown are still close, but I don't think there's going to be a battle there. I think Sweet Crown's softs are a bit too durable at the moment, considering how young they are. The gap is currently 6 seconds between Sweet Crown and Chaos.
I think it's a bit too big. I don't think Sweet Crown's going to catch up to him. I think it's a little bit, there's not enough laps to really make up that much time unless Chaos has a horrid run.
He's after getting a bit of oversteer through Beckett's.
Yeah, he had to let off a little bit. But now Flip Flop didn't have a really good run out of there. He's going to get close to Flip Flop. There's not going to be an overtake onto here unless he has a really ballsy move. And no, he doesn't. He keeps it behind him, but he is getting close again. Flip Flop Fish is struggling on those mediums still. And Chaos is having a much better run on his tires. But again, he has that penalty, and Seafreeze sets the fastest lap of the race at the moment. And it's a 1:29.
I'd like to point out that Flip Flop Fish still hasn't got a single warning. So it's very unlikely that he's going to get a penalty anytime soon.
And Chaos and Flip Flop Fish very close.
Seafreeze
I think
goes
Chaos.
quickest.
I think, yep, he did go quickest. 1:29. Here comes Chaos. Can he make an overtake? No, he's going to actually lose time again, having a bad run, lap 23 of 26. I think Chaos might want to overtake Flip Flop, maybe purely on bragging rights grounds. It's been a pretty personal battle.
I actually think that, there's a bit of a mess up.
That was a bit of a mess up now. That's going to allow Sweet Crown 19 to gain a little bit more time.
Element 10 3-second time penalty, which will put him behind Hanos if Hanos hasn't already got one, but I think he does. I do have a feeling that Chaos is just trying to keep a bit of a gap so he's able to get DRS and be able to, like, keep
Flip Flop honest.
Yeah, and also be able to keep Slipstream to further excel him away from Sweet Crown, because Sweet Crown doesn't seem to be gaining, and I think that's mostly down to the DRS he's gaining every lap when Sweet Crown isn't. Sweet Crown is also very low on ERS, but so is Chaos, to be fair.
Whereas Flip Flop has a lot of ERS, so this battle is pretty much over unless Flip Flop has some horrible run out of a turn.
Yeah. Now, Element 10 and Hanos both have 3-second time penalties, if my memory serves me correctly. So that could be an interesting fight towards the end of this race.
And Sweet Crown 19, 3-second time penalty for Sweet Crown 19, multiple warnings. Is that gonna put Element 10 though ahead of Sweet Crown 19? No.
Element 10 also has a 3-second time penalty, as does Hanos. So from 4th down to 6th is now fully on track position. From 4th to 6th is now fully track position on penalties.
Oh man, whoa! Chaos must be licking his chops right now with that 3-second time penalty given the Sweet Crown 19. That's
delighted.
Pretty much saved his podium. If there was going to be a threat, lap 24 of 26, 3 laps to go, including this one. And Flip Flop Fish and Chaos are still battling. Chaos, again, I just think he wants to... Now it's no holds barred, quite frankly. I think he's just going to go for it, and he is going to get close to Flip Flop Fish 4, and let's see what he can do. Now it's just Flip Flop Fish. He doesn't even have 4 at the end of his name. Going on the inside of Flip Flop Fish, and they're going to still go side by side. That's outrageous, and Flip Flop still has the inside line. Now what will happen here? You're going to get close, and it's actually Flip Flop. Flip Flop breaks pretty early and lets Chaos by. Now, is Flip Flop just going to let Chaos by, and you think he's just going to let him have it and then pass him with time?
I think Flip Flop sees that this isn't really an issue for him, because he has a 3-second time penalty while he has no warnings as far as I'm aware. Or not that I saw even on the race director when I looked, but knowing that he has a 3-second time penalty, he might just use Chaos to just gain time with DRS.
Let's see if he
And
will.
then
Here comes
go
Flip
for a
Flop
pass
Fish, DRS,
eventually.
and close. Going through Brooklyn, but not able to make it. Now through left field. Will he look around the outside? He takes the outside line, but no look on the outside.
Swervin did actually spin, by the way, in the second sector. That's what the yellow flag there about a lap ago was about.
And
Flip Flop Fish is still very close.
0.3 of a second separating the two drivers, and this is going to be a battle right down to the wire. And this is purely just bragging rights between the drivers. You can argue about time alone, but listen, if you got ahead of a driver just based on track performance, you have that guy's number. The performance with the time will speak for itself at another time. Here comes Flip Flop around the outside, and he does make the overtake on Chaos. It looked quite easy, actually, as much better straight line speed for Flip Flop Fish over Chaos. Now, lap 20.
So much at
it's going to be lap 26 of 26. What's going to happen here? Will Chaos, you think it's going to go for a little bit of a, let's just say a full-hearted move into one of these turns?
Now, he also has to be careful not to hit Flip Flop or not jeopardize his own race. Gurn was after getting a 3-second time penalty as well. But what is interesting, though, I think Chaos should realize that he can't risk ruining his own race and accidentally spinning it when trying to make a risky overtake or hitting Flip Flop and risk a penalty.
Here we go.
So,
down the DRS
if it was
straight.
Me, I'd just be settling
not
in.
Not going to make an overtake, and now is bundles of understeer coming into Brooklyn. Now in left field around the inside line. Flip Flop takes the outside line. Still behind him. It's about 0.5 of a second between the two drivers. And Flip Flop Fish currently in second position ahead of Chaos. Now, I would like to mention Flip Flop has actually gained a little bit of time on Seafreeze, but it is lap 26. So Seafreeze, as he's going to come around Magnus and Beckett, so he's getting onto that DRS straight. We're going to ride on board of Chaos, who actually is not going to run on the grass like Flip Flop Fish did. Now, is Flip Flop is he going to make an overtake? Let's see. How personal will Flip Flop Fish?
I think he's too far back.
Will he look? And he's going to go on the inside, and this is outrageous. Look at this. He's going to go side by side of him. Here comes Flip Flop Fish. They bang wheels a little bit, and it's going to be Chaos who tried to make a last lawn dunge. And here comes Seafreeze around the final turn. He will win the British Grand Prix in the Alfa Romeo, and Flip Flop Fish will finish in second, and Chaos is going to have a spin, and he's going to crash on the start-finish line. He's going to cross the finish line and win it, and Sweet Crown 19 will come across in fourth, and Element 10 in fifth, and then Honos in sixth. But Gurman has another 3-second time penalty. And Nathan de Villers is all the way off track. And who is that? Gurman's going to pass him. And now Nathan de Villers has had a awful... And it's a flat! It's a flat! There's a puncture for Nathan de Villers at the end of this race. Nathan de Villers with a left rear puncture on the McLaren. And that's disaster for the orange car. Nathan de Villers coming into season 2. You did jinx him. I did
kind of jinx him. I did mention punctures, and you said, nah, that never happens. Now, was there contact to cause that puncture? His tires are only 22 laps old.
Now, look at this. Now, whoa. No, he's not going to get out of it. UCB flying was going to possibly. But he will keep 10th position. And Dempsey is going to be behind him. He'll finish in 11th. But it's going to be Seafreeze 22 who wins the British Grand Prix by a very decisive action. Clearly driver of the day. He had an absolutely outstanding performance in this British Grand Prix. As we get onto the podium, Chaos and Flip Flop Fish will join him in what was a awesome battle for second position throughout the entire race. But it is Seafreeze who wins the Grand Prix in decisive fashion, and I think that's a big redemption for Germany. Thank you so much for joining us. This was Worldwide Sim Racing coverage of the British Grand Prix. Join us next week. My name is WSRX.
And I'm Alex Sullivan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and have yourselves a wonderful night.